Having left the wonderful Meteora behind us, we headed down to the first beach park of Greece. We thought we'd find a nice, sedate, quiet little place just for a day or two. Unfortunately, things didn't turn out exactly as we wanted. Morning, folks.
Good morning, everybody.
And welcome to the sunniest, loveliest day we've had so far on our trip.
It's beautiful. I've just had a dunk in the sea. Well, actually, I've been snorkeling because it's very shallow. You can't swim, but there's lots of little bits going on.
Did you find anything?
I did. I found sea anemone. I found some fish. I found hermit crabs. I found some what looked like baby lobsters. Unfortunately, they were dead. And there was some jellyfish and all sorts of stuff down there. And this beach is beautiful.
We only came here, we were heading to the Corinth Canal yesterday, and we were a little bit late, and we thought instead of trying to get there at 4 o'clock and see it late and then have to move on, we thought we'd find a little beach park up, and this place is wonderful.
I'm going to interject there. The real reason we had to stop early is because the rugby was on, so we had to be parked up ready for that, didn't we?
Anyway, yes, that as well. Anyway, so we found this little park up. It was beautifully quiet. Unfortunately, there were two great big horse boxes with fairly young couples. I will say they were French. Not that it makes any difference. They had tables out, they had awnings out, and this morning a couple came past who obviously took offence to it. And next thing we had is the Coast Guard came past. He had a chat with them. One of them drove off literally 10 seconds later, obviously being chased off before. Then he came to see us and said, we can't stay. We were going to stay the day because it is wonderful here.
But we can't even park here to use the beach and then move later, he said. He said, these vehicles are a problem, you have to go. So we negotiated, and he said that we could stay for an hour so that I could have a swim. Because I said, can we at least use the beautiful beaches? There's hardly anybody else here. So he said we could stay for an hour for a swim. And now we have to go.
I said, well, we did say to him, there's no campsites open. Where did we go? He said, I don't know. You can't stay here, no campsite. It's not his problem. He just wanted us off his patch.
He did say, I don't know, it's a problem for you, it's a problem for me. So obviously, translation and his English wasn't brilliant, but he was good enough to say, you got to go.
He was nice about it. Anyway, we're now off to the Corinth Canal. We are actually going to go and see the Corinth Canal.
Yes. And then we've got no idea where we're going after that. This is one of the problems with being a winter tourist. We are happy to go to campsites occasionally, and if that's the thing here, then we're happy to go to them, but most of them are shut, and the only ones I have found open are about €50 a night. That's not sustainable.
And we're also not going to stay in Greece very long, which is a shame for Greece because we're spending money here. We're going to the archaeology, we're going to the monasteries, we're going to the shops, we go to restaurants, we go to bars, we buy fuel here. And if they don't want us here, we'll spend that money elsewhere.
Yep.
So, anyhow, Corinth Canal it is.
Yep.
Whoa! Fuck! I told you it's good. Well, that's coming.
Oh my God, that's a long way down.
Right, you can go right and do a U-turn here, or pull into here.
I'm pulling into here. Yeah. This is the dodgy car park.
There's no one here anyway, so we got here to somewhere we wanted, which is quite unusual on our trip. We just driven over it, and both of us went, Jesus.
You see pictures of it, but it doesn't prepare you for actually seeing it. It's deep.
So you walk with us for just a second. We're just coming to the bridge. There's a bit of wind here, so I'm going to shout. So here we go. We're just coming up to the bridge. In case you didn't know, I only found out a couple of days ago myself, this was built by a pair of Hungarians. Obviously, all the best stuff is Hungarian, as you well know. Yes, this is absolutely mind-blowing when you get there. Like I say, everyone's seen the pictures of it, but when you look, it is phenomenal. Are you ready? We're going to go about halfway across before I turn it round. Actually, have a look at this. Isn't that incredible? That is mad.
That is so deep. Just the camera isn't going to show it. That is wow, just wow.
I mean, obviously it's shut at the moment. There's a machine doing works there, but you can see the current. I don't know if you can see it. I can see the current is flowing from us towards the other side. That is just phenomenal.
Morning, folks.
Good morning.
We're in
Sparta. We got to somewhere. Well, after being kicked out by the police yesterday by the beach, and then we did the Corinth Canal, which was incredible to see.
Yep.
We did about another 2.5 hours, and we found this little spot in Sparta, end of a road. I'll have a quick look out. We're at the end of a road, private little road, right by Olive Grove. And as you can see from the video now that I'm putting up, you can fly in a straight line about 300 yards and you're in Sparta at the theatre. Anyway, so, and behind us are the mountains. Where are they? They're there, covered in snow, all lovely. And today we're going to go and see Sparta.
This is Sparta.
I think you need a bit more warmth than that.
This is Sparta! I think that's how it went in the
Anyway,
film.
if you know which film that came from or what she's trying to tell us, then
Tom
please
hasn't
feel
got a
free.
clue.
I ain't got a clue. I never do, really. Anyway.
I might have made it up, I don't know. Let's go see some stuff. We had a look on Google Maps before we came here and it looked like there was some parking, and there is, but not for you. So we drove up this hill, we got as far as here and had to reverse back. I wouldn't bother trying to come up here because if you're in a long vehicle and you don't like reversing, that's a little bit wiggly windy to get backwards. But at the moment, it's free to enter. I think that's awesome. I'm sure it won't last once the works are done, but at the moment it's free.
Go on, do it. That thing you wanted to do.
This is Sparta! Yeah, I don't do it anywhere near as well. I feel silly doing that. Sorry, folks, I won't do it again.
This place is incredible. All the ruins just in amongst all these olive trees. Look at this one. This one must be hundreds of years old. There's not huge amounts here. There's lots of signposts, which is quite good. Lots of notice boards, but just the views and the peace and the flowers and the butterflies, and there's lizards and there's grasshoppers and centipedes and millipedes. It's fabulous here. Of course, spring's here as well. This is the theatre. As you can tell, they're doing a lot of work here. There's a crane. I did see a crane somewhere. I can't find it now. Maybe they took it down while I wasn't watching.
Oh look, there's two pillars over there. Gates or something. Can you see them in the trees?
Yeah.
So the Spartan people were very different to the rest of the ancient Greeks for two reasons. One is the Spartans had a tier system where you had the Spartiates, which were the full citizens, full freedom citizens. Then you had the middle people who were free non-citizens, but then you had the Helots, which was basically the slaves, and they took up most of the population. And one of the reasons that Sparta fell is after they were defeated in one war, the slave bit was abolished. But the main reason they were different is how they treated their women. And this is the bit that I find interesting. So from birth, women were given the same food as their brothers, whereas in the rest of Greece they weren't, which obviously made them as strong human beings. They weren't married off at 12 or 13 like the rest of the ancient Greeks. They were encouraged to wait until they were late teens, early 20s, because that way when they bore children, they bore stronger children, and they themselves didn't have as much damage to their bodies. They were also encouraged to exercise, whereas most Grecian women were kept away and covered up and had to wear makeup and weren't allowed to exercise at all. They were allowed to partake in sports as well, and most exercise and sports were done naked, and it was just normal for everybody to be fit and healthy and strong. They were also encouraged to have strong babies, in the point of if their husbands were older than them and didn't feel as though they would pass on strong enough genes, they were encouraged to take younger lovers, so they had stronger sperm and stronger children. And it was also quite common that if a man was single and he wanted more children, he would request to borrow another man's wife to bear his children, because having strong children was so important to them, obviously, because they were a strong fighting force. So it just goes to show, look after your women, encourage them to be fit and healthy, and you have a very, very strong population. The other thing was, because most of the men went off to battle and ended up dying, is women had the same rights as men, to the point where they could have property. And at one point, women owned 35% of the property in Sparta, because the men kept going off to die, basically. But it formed a really, really strong-minded and strong physically population. And the only reason they died is because they got beaten once in battle and their lifestyle was abolished.
Having spent a really lovely day at Sparta, we headed south, getting caught in a local traffic jam before finding our park up for the night in a little restaurant car park overlooking the sea, and here it was wonderful. A day later, we headed further south to meet up with van navigation and explore a shipwreck. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye.